Alrighty, good morning, folks. This is Jason with the Primal Outdoors channel. Again, we're enjoying a comfortable morning here in the van. It's very chilly outside, but it's very comfortable with the wood stove in the van, and it's just nice morning to sit back, relax, enjoy a hot cup of coffee, and talk about some of the comments that I've been getting here recently on the van camping channel. And one of the comments that I've been getting a lot is people wanting to know why I switched out from my 270, my 23-0 Paragon 270 awning and went back to my traditional rollout CVT awning. Now, it really had nothing to do with anything wrong with the 270 as far as the way it was designed. There was no kind of failure or breakage or anything like that. It really came down to about three reasons of why it just wasn't a good fit for me. All right, so let's just jump right into the first and most important reason why I switched over back to my traditional awning. And that is with the 270s, the arms come straight out perpendicular to the vehicle, which doesn't give you any way to pitch the awning. And so if you're dealing with inclement weather, whether it's raining or snowing, there's no way to pitch that awning to where you can get that water to just naturally shed off the awning. With the traditional rollout awning, I can pitch it however I want. I can either drop the whole thing down and have it straight down to where it runs completely off to the front of the awning, or I can pitch it one side or the other so I can direct the water away from my camp in a way that I want. That's super handy, especially, like I said, dealing with the type of camping that I do, which is mainly in the winter months where it is snowing or raining a lot. Having the ability to just get the awning to naturally drain is really nice. And another problem that I have with the 270 is its sheer size, which, is a benefit, but at the same time, when I'm dealing with snow and a lot of snow, one of the things I can do with the roll-up awning is I can have a campfire right underneath it, and it will keep that awning completely snow-free. It'll keep it all melted off. But the challenge is with the 270 is it swings out the back and it comes around the front, and there's just a lot of awning. And so when I put the campfire underneath, it will keep the what's right directly above me melted off. But the wings that kind of come over the front and the wing that goes over the back end up with still snow load on them, and I'm having to constantly monitor that and get that snow off of the awning. So having an awning that's just big enough for my needs and allowing me to have the campfire underneath, plus be able to pitch it, really helps keep the snow and the water from collecting on the awning. And that's, like I said, the biggest reason why I wanted to switch back to the original awning. So, and the second reason had to do with my wood stove that I have in the van. So if you're familiar with my channel, you know I have a little wood stove and I run the chimney out through my window. And the problem is with the 270, with the front wing that would come around, that would conflict with where the chimney was at. Now, I did come up with a workaround to where I could tie off that front wing so it didn't deploy, and I could have the awning out and still have my chimney out. But the problem with that is the awning no longer covered my side door where I get in and out. So that was just exposed to the outdoors. So again, if it was raining or snowing, if I'm getting in and out of the van, or if I'm cooking outside and I'm standing and preparing things at the door on my little door shelf, I'm basically right out in the elements, and I didn't like that. With my traditional rollout, it covers just exactly what I need. It covers all the way over the front door, over that side door, and it goes all the way past my back tire a little bit. So if I'm using my tire table, I've got coverage on both ends, and it works out perfectly. It's just enough coverage to where everywhere I want to operate is covered, but not so much coverage that, like I said earlier, I can't keep the awning melted off with a campfire. So it works out perfectly, and it doesn't conflict at all with my wood stove, with the pipe coming out from my wood stove. So that was another major reason for me personally why I wanted to get back to the original awning. So the third reason has to do with putting the awning away. The 270, I will admit, is just a hair easier to deploy than the rollout awning. I'm really used to using the rollout awning. I've used them for years, so I find them very easy to get out and put away. But I will say the 270, I feel like, beats it out just a hair in deployment, just a little bit easier to deploy. But when it comes to putting it away, because the awning is mounted so high on my van, I would have some struggles trying to get the 270 all rolled back up and the arms aligned back up enough to where once I rolled everything up, everything was nice and tight and would fit in the bag. And oftentimes I'd have to get something out to stand on to be able to get that all tucked away perfectly to get that cover on. With my rollout awning, it's actually a little bit easier. I can roll that up and it's really easy for me to get that tucked up and snapped in. It's just a little bit easier in that way. But the other part where it's much easier to put away, especially again when it comes to winter camping, if I'm dealing with a heavy frost or snow, or maybe it was windy over the night and I've got a bunch of tree debris that fell on top of the awning, it's really easy for me to just drop the awning straight down and clean off everything on the roll-up awning. Whereas the 270, when the arms come together, the fabric just kind of dips and you're trying to scoop the snow out or clean that off. And if you can't get all that off, it makes it even harder to get it rolled up tight enough to get it to fit in its bag. So again, when it comes to inclement weather and dealing with trying to clear the awning of any type of debris, it's just so much easier for me to do with the roll-up awning, since I can just drop it straight down to the ground and then brush it off with a little broom handle or something like that, which makes it super easy. Those three reasons basically are why I wanted to switch back to the other awning. Now, obviously there's some downsides to this as well. In the summertime, the 270 with its the fact that it was so big did provide a lot more shade than what I have with the rollout awning, you know, being able to go all the way around the front and all the way around the back. And that's another downside as well, is with the 270 awning, even though it didn't shed water and snow well, it did give me some coverage over the back. So if I was retrieving something from the back of the van, I did have coverage back there, which I do not now. So that is a downside. But to me, those downsides don't outweigh the upsides of going back to the roll-up awning. So I'm willing to deal with those in order for me to enjoy the upsides. Now, one thing I have considered is possibly doing a quick disconnect system so that way in the winter months I could quickly attach the CVT awning, and in the summer months where I'm more after shade, I could quickly detach the CVT awning and quickly reattach the other awning. I know there's some quick attach systems out there. I just need to look into that more. But at the same time, I'm not really sure it's worth it to me, because the CVT awning, the roll-up awning, does provide me pretty good shade. And another thing, again, is I can actually pitch the awning. And sometimes when the sun is really low, it's nice to be able to pitch the awning down to where you can block that like a visor. And again, that's not something you can do with the 270 awning. All right, folks, so I hope that answers all your questions to why I ditched the 270 awning and went back to my CVT rollout awning. I've been using it this way for the core of the winter, and I have no regrets switching out. It's just been working really well, and I've been very happy with the overall setup outside since I switched. And then, like I said, it's just a lot easier to put away, and that's a big plus in my mind, because if it's a challenge, then I don't want to use it, and I just won't get it out. So the easier it is to use for me, the better. And like I said, this has just been working out well. Now, maybe something will come along in the future, or something will change in the 270 world that will make it to where you can start to get a little pitch on them. And in that case, I definitely would be willing to give them another try. But right now, I think this is the best option for me. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, please leave those down below. If you enjoyed this video and thought it was useful information, please give it a like. And I'll see you guys again outside.